You're watching another Stunt Culture YouTube tutorial, and today we're going over that rewind. I'm Cody.
I'm Christine.
I'm Broden.
And before we get into the rewind, one good prerequisite for this is that the fly can do a back tuck, or is at least working on the progressions and the drills for a standing back tuck. All right, so let's go over the first one.
So the first one, you guys are just gonna lay down flat as a flyer, on your back, fast up with your arms, and then following it with your legs nice and tucked. So we're gonna go 1 and then up on 2. 1, 2. Really want to get your feet over so you can see your toes, because when you're actually doing this skill, you want to be able to see your toes the whole way through, and then as you land, so you can put them in your base's hand.
Okay, the next progression is just a variation of that one. So what I'm gonna be doing is that same motion, but up onto the box. Again, it's another back tuck progression, but it's just helping the flyer pop up and over, reaching through their arms. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna jump up, swing your arms all the way to your ears, you're gonna reach right over, and then you're gonna think about driving through your toes so you can get your shins over. Because that's one of the shins and feet. Because that's one of the biggest things that a fly struggles with at first with this, because they're trying to reach over their bases. A lot of them will leave their legs behind, and then it's difficult for the base to spot those feet as they come through. So all the fly's gonna do is swing up, land on the back, feet over. So here, and then back down. Same again, here, and back down. So you're really focusing on reaching through that shoulder, still keeping your chin down, still squeezing your core. And then when you leave the ground, you're gonna really focus on snapping those shins and toes over.
So first exercise we're gonna do is laying back down on your back, hands down by your sides and legs out straight, and you're just gonna be doing leg raises. So fast on the way up, like you would in like going for the drill or going for the skill, just to mimic that.
One other variation that you can do is either on like a chin-up bar or store bars. So I'm just gonna show you one on the store bars. Same sort of motion, but just a little bit more difficult. So it will just help with that power if you are lacking that momentum of getting your shins and toes over. So just hanging, and then you're thinking about bringing your knees in, shins and toes up, snapping up. So same with that one. Do about 10 at a time. Try to progress to 20 even, and then do that through a few times each time you're practicing it. Once you can do that and you have a fair bit of speed, that's definitely gonna help speed up the rewind, which means the base is just gonna be able to see the flyer's feet quicker. The next progression we're gonna do is both for the base and for the flyer, and it's just a timer drill. So what you're gonna think about doing for the base, make sure that you're staying down, your arms roughly at a right angle, maybe a little bit more extended. When she pops for the rewind, don't think about bringing her in, think about bringing her over. You need to make sure that you stay down. I look directly in the middle of their back, just under the crop top band, and I think about lifting right over top. So don't think about standing up too early, because otherwise she's gonna stay in front the whole time and the whole stunt's gonna land in front. I'm gonna come up, over, and then bring her back down.
For the flyer, you want to think about really fast arms. This is going to help you actually get over your base. Yeah, so really fast arms. From here, you want to be pulling all the way up nice and tight, and then trying to get your toes up so you can see them. From there, then just tucking the legs over, so it's just going to come up and then back down.
Yep, and staying in that ball. Let's do that one. Awesome. So she'll get to that point where you feel like she's actually going to go over you. That's when I just relax and I just bring her into my shoulder. Don't let her just drop, otherwise it's going to hurt her back. Still try and bring her in like relatively slowly. But you want to get to that point where you feel like it's coming back, because if you don't feel that, again, when you throw, it's going to end up in front. The other thing is, as the base, when she comes over, for the timer, you don't need to do it as much. Once you start throwing, you will. But I aim to put my thumbs around the dimple area of her back, and as she comes up and over, almost right over top of me is when I'm gonna flick. All right, that'll be the next progression. But before we get into that, we're going to show you a couple of exercises. So the first one will help the flyer, the next one will help the base.
So this is going to help with that swing to get over the base. So just grabbing a band, you want to be nice and fast on the way up and then slow on the way down.
When you do this exercise, the flyer is going to concentrate on squeezing their core and squeezing their glutes, making sure that it stays here the whole time and they're not arching. It's going to help with that fast swing. All right, and for the bases, we're just going to do some front delt raises as well, but we're going to do it with a kettlebell, and you're going to do it squatted down so you're in that rewind position. Starting with it in front, you're gonna bring it over your head and back down. So all you're doing here is you're mimicking that same motion as when you would throw the flyer, making sure you're staying down. When you throw, you really wanna bring her over, then stand up and flick through. So when you do this one, I would aim for 12 reps and 4 to 5 sets. The next progression after that, we've set up some mats. If you have access to mats, this one's really good. If you don't, the next progression would probably be to do this with a dual base. But if you can do it with some mats, that's really good to practice, because what we're doing in this from the bases perspective, you're gonna focus on staying down, bringing the flyer over, driving through your thumbs and rolling her over. So she rolls all the way over, stays in the ball the whole time and lands on her feet. So we'll show you what that should look like. We'll do that a couple times. This one is kind of awkward at first. The biggest thing that we're doing is we're just forcing the base to stay down, because it is very common for the base to stand up too early. With this one, I'm almost thinking about staying down the whole time and rolling all the way through and then driving through my thumbs. So that when we do go to throw, we've got our legs and our arms, which will give us a lot more height and power.
Flyers, just making sure you really hold that ball the whole way through.
All right, so once you've done that one a bunch and you're comfortable with that, the next step would be to do it with a side base. We've brought in Broden.
Hey.
He's gonna side base this one. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna have his left hand on her lower back. He's gonna have his right hand under her legs, and he's just gonna help pitch a little bit and then catch. He's not gonna do a lot because we're aiming to do this one by ourselves, but he's going to think about bumping her legs over, helping with that back rotation, and then driving through her lower back to help with that height and a little bit of the rotation as well. So we'll show you what that should look like. Pop. Do that a bunch so you're comfortable with that. You're hitting it at the top, and then you can try it single base. So for this single base, as the base, make sure that you're staying down nice and low, bringing the flyer right over top. Don't start to stand up too soon. It's one of the most common problems, remember. You wanna stay down, flyer comes over, start to drive through your legs, extend through your arms, and then flick through your thumbs at the top to give them that extra height and really help with their rotation. Leave those arms up to reach for her feet, absorb through your legs, and then stand up.
For the flyer, big swing to get over your base, then getting your shins up so you can see your feet, and then spotting your base's hands by keeping your feet in that position, so that tuck position. Once you get there, land with your legs bent, straightening them out while rolling up. So we call that the question mark. So scooping your hips under while lifting up, but not whipping it up, because that's gonna tend to make you fall back.
As a spotter, make sure the flyer doesn't hit the ground.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do that now, single base. Awesome. So remember, try and go through all those progressions. Make sure that you're doing the exercises as well, because if you get stuck on the progressions, usually it's because you don't have the required strength, which the exercises will help with. Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions about this skill. Also, let us know what you'd like to see in the next video. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.